We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
I may not be a millionaire. I may not have a brand new Frigidaire. My clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new. But there is joy in my house.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one who says it is insignificant.
And I'm joined here by my co-host, Lolita Robinson, author of Shaped by the Master's Hand and recording artist. Welcome to the
Hi,
show.
how are you, everybody? It's great to see you, and it's great to see you, Joel, today. And hi, Van, and can't wait till our guest comes on.
I want to thank your audience out. I want to thank the audience and viewers out there for being part of our joy that we have in our house, even in the midst of struggles. I don't want to start off on a somber note, but I do want to send my condolences to the family of Richard Lang. He was a student of mine of 81 years old and a friend, and he went with God today. He passed away this morning.
Boy, you have really been through it. I mean, last week, Davey, well, it's only been, what, two weeks that your best friend passed away.
Yeah.
It's really, really pretty heavy, isn't it?
It is, and sometimes you want to go and get angry at God and say, why are you doing this to me? But he does have a bigger picture.
Yes, he does.
And because of his grace, I still have peace. So I do want to say that.
And we can't forget that, death to us is negative because we don't know what it's all about. But for them, it's a homegoing. And it's a blessing, and it's a big celebration. In fact, sometimes I envy them. I don't want to go before my time.
Right.
But they don't have to worry about us, so we're not, not rejoicing that they're not at home. But for us that are left
for us,
here,
we're the ones left in pain.
Right, absolutely.
But again, through God's graces and through his sacrifice, he gives us that peace. And like I said, I don't want to start off on a somber note, but I do want to send my condolences out to him and his family, and to myself, because I'm missing him already.
I know you are. And you know what I thought was so beautiful, because yesterday we are going to talk about a day that we got to spend together, giving a sister in the Lord, giving her encouragement and blessing for her ministry. But God let you say goodbye to him.
You know what?
Isn't that awesome? I mean, what did you end up doing?
You know what? I was thinking on the drive here, because I got the call early this morning. As I was driving, I was just bawling. Well, it's amazing, because when I found him, he was non-responsive. I called 911. They picked him up, take him to ICU. He was non-responsive for 2 days. Come Friday, he started speaking, mumbling.
Right.
Well, I prayed with him, and his first words, and I will say this at his eulogy, his first words were Jesus Christ.
Oh, hallelujah. Okay.
So we're praying.
I know
he knew the Lord. We're praying, and he's mumbling with me, and I'm praying, and the only words that I understood that he said clearly were Jesus Christ, were his first words after his coming out.
I'm positive he was before the throne. And then what you were telling me, what did you do with the Dodger game with him?
Oh, we had a great opening day for the Dodgers. We're definitely Dodgers fans, and my buddy Davey, who rest in peace, went to the Lord about 2 to 3 weeks ago. We were big Dodger fans, so I went and visited Richard, which is my 81-year-old student and friend, at the hospital, and I bought him some balloons, some Dodger balloons, and we saw opening day at the hospital, and I put it up on Facebook, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed Vince Scully, and
that's so cool. That is so cool. That's a gift.
You know what it is?
It's called Final Gifts, because I've trained to be in bereavement because of being a widow, and there's a book they had us read called Final Gifts. And if we think back, after we get through the grief, our loved ones do leave us little parting gifts, and I think that he came back. I really believe that, to say goodbye to you.
Yeah, that was definitely special. Not knowing that it was the last time, or one of the few times that I was going to see him before he went. So we had a good parting. But I am sad.
Yeah. And you know what? It's also another thing. It's ministry, in terms of, we always think that ministry is like being on a platform or being in front of a camera, or like we are with mics. But ministry is what you did. It's going to the hospital and being accessible. And I've just seen you grow so much, how you served this man. You were there every single day, Joel. That says a lot. That's what serving Christ is about. It's great when we have these big moments, but
yeah. And my love, Ann Wydra, who who's been with me for about 3 years now, she sent me a text, and I spoke to her. She was one of the first persons I told. She said that to me, and it gave me such peace. And she said,
that's true.
pull over and read this, and you've been a blessing to him and a gift. And you're saying that now. And wow.
And that's how we can, I get chills on how God moves.
I do want to lighten up the mood, because God is a celebration in our lives.
Hallelujah. Hey, Richard, put a word in for us, and Davey, and
that's right,
my brother, and
your
everybody.
Brother and Daryl,
Yep.
Well, I do want to recap last week's show, our Easter message. We had one of the catalysts,
my son
Seth Robinson, one of the catalysts in me meeting Lolita, and Lolita bringing me to Christ,
right?
And now being all these things that have happened was because of your son, Seth
and
Robinson.
He was really blessed by it. He's so shy and so bashful. I was so proud of him that he got up and spoke. It was not easy for him, but I also want to rejoice over what we did yesterday. It was so cool.
Yesterday was an amazing event.
It
Angel
was.
Smite was on the show a couple weeks ago, and you can watch the archive previous shows on latalklive.com, and just click on shows, join my house, and you can go to my archives and you can watch all of our previous shows.
That's right.
And Angel got to perform live here with David Mins off her new album, A Stronger Me, and her women's conference was called A Stronger Me.
I wanted to go. We just clicked. Hoel knew we would.
I knew you guys would.
And she was amazed because, like I said before, we're both artists. We both do the same thing, but we were sisters, and I wanted to go and really just encourage her and pray with her. And I was really blessed by the ministry. She's just a powerful singer and a really, really dedicated woman.
Well, what do you feel you got out of the conference? Because I was there all day, and I had to sit outside because it is a women's conference.
She's just encouraging people to be transparent.
Powerful.
She's encouraging women, and she stood up there and told her story. She cried at times and talked about being in the process and feeling feelings. And I can even tell at the table, women were a little reserved. We're just not used to in the church opening up and sharing. The women were beautiful, but it was a little hard because in so long we've had to hide in the church. That's why I'm excited about today. We pray about salvation and all that, but so I learned a lot. But I was there to give her support, and that's what's important.
Well, I want you guys to follow us out there. If you're listening and viewing today and you're joining us right out of service, we want to thank you for being a part of the joy that we have in our house, even in the midst of struggles.
That's what's
and
about.
we want you to find us on Facebook /Joy in My House. You can find us also on latalklive.com. Just type in shows. This network has about 40 shows, has about 4.5 million listeners and viewers. I want you to engage with us. Link up with us on twitter.com /Joy in My House. You can also, if you're just listening to us, you can also stream us live on any mobile device, your iPads, your iPhones, your Blackberries. I call them Blueberries. I don't even know the name of these mobile devices.
I don't even have one.
On newstream.tv /LA Talk Live Radio. You can also find us on iTunes, R&B, genre R&B, and you can find LA Talk Live Radio. So please feel free to engage with us. We do open the studio lines for you listeners and viewers out there. It's 323-247-7443. We welcome your calls. We welcome your comments. We want you to be part of the joy that we have in our house as much as we want to be part of the joy that you have in your house.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey,
we have a great
God is so
guest.
good. He just brings us most incredible people, but they're so humble and sweet, and they're brothers and sisters in the Lord. I'm looking forward to this.
We have the associate producer of the movie Home Run in studio today, and we'll be talking about the film, and it also has a really strong connection to Celebrate Recovery, and it's grounded in Christ. I am very blessed and honored. So you're going to want to stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
And his name is Micah.
Micah Bernard, associate producer for Home Run, is going to be here in studio live, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to want to stay tuned. This is Joy in My House.
And we love you, and stay tuned. Okay. Oh my God.
How can I forget you? Where did the sweetness go, Lord? Have I fallen from your hand? Am I so far from you, Lord? Is my life in your plan? Where can I run when I feel all alone? did your presence go, Lord? Have you pushed me far from your mind? Where did I left to go? Will you smile on me one more time?
Do you suffer from degenerative diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, fibroid tumors, high cholesterol, genital herpes, or a plethora of other diseases that rob you of a quality life? If so, then visit the website of herbalist Tahuti Ma'atra at dhealthstore.com and open the door to natural healing at an affordable price. dhealthstore.com has over 1,800 products created by herbalist Tahuti Ma'atra, specifically designed to help you heal the natural and safe way. At dhealthstore.com, you'll find everything from herbal formulas and cleanses, such as Tahuti's famous full body detox, as well as herbal teas, extracts, natural body butters, lotions, creams, children's products, hair care products, and of course, sexual enhancement products for both men and women. So visit the website of Tahuti Ma'atra, dhealthstore.com, or call toll free at 1-888-823-9416. dhealthstore.com.
Emmanuel.
Okay.
Emmanuel.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Join My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. I'm joined here by my recording artist and author of Shaped by the Master's Hand, Lolita Robinson.
I'm excited to be back, and I'm glad you stayed tuned with us.
And we have a great in-studio guest today, ladies and gentlemen, Micah Bernard,
Hello.
associate producer of Home Run.
Hello.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. I'm clapping for him.
I want to thank you for coming on the show, Micah.
Yay.
Now, Micah, I know that you're the associate producer of Home Run, but I always like to mention on our show how we get in touch with our guests and how God really places people in our lives, how we say, and for us to create relationships with one another. And we met through John Brennan, the state representative, the
Regional
director
Uh-huh.
of Celebrate Recovery.
Yep, the West Regional Director.
Yeah, John Brennan. So I want to thank him. If you're listening or viewing out there, I know he watches the recaps of our show. We want to thank you for hooking us up with Micah Bernard from Home Run.
Yeah, a little shout out to JB. He works hard not only for Celebrate Recovery but for Home Run. He's been a great asset for us, and we've just been blessed to have him as part of our team.
How did you get to know him since you are not from LA? How did you get to know him, John?
Well, through the film, really, we're using Celebrate Recovery as part of a kind of a character, as you would say in the film, and so just through traveling around to the different conferences and things like that for CR, we met, and so whether it's a summit or a one-day conference on the West Coast, that's how we got to know him.
Okay.
And he's
all
so
right.
proactive. You know, he's very involved, and he has a testimony, and he continues to do step studies on CR. So he gave his testimony here about a month ago.
we had him on too.
the show.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I do want to touch base with you, Micah, and find out a little bit about your history, your family of origin. Where did you grow up, and how did you get involved?
Well, my story it's pretty funny. I grew up in the filmmaking mecca of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? And there's actually quite a bit of production there, but that's where I grew up, is Tulsa, Oklahoma. Married with 2 kids, a beautiful wife. And
Her name?
Her name's Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Yep. Hi, babe, if you're watching. And 2 kids. And so I was just waiting tables in Tulsa, and happened to be approached by a producer in a television. She frequented the restaurant that I was working in, and she said, "So what do you do?" This.
Yeah, but you were saying earlier, what you were training for in school.
Yeah, I have a degree in exercise physiology, so I was, possibly be going to physical therapy or something like that later on down the road, or, I have a minor in education, so I could go into, teach PE or whatever. But I just wasn't interested in that, so I ended up in different fields, management positions and things like that, and then ended up waiting tables.
Wow.
And she just walked up to you like they did
I
Lana Turner.
brought her food one night, and her husband said, "That's the guy you need to hire." And so
to be a producer?
Just basically be an assistant at that time.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so
I mean,
So
that's amazing.
You must have some good work ethic. You
Yeah,
must have
what were
shown
you
something.
doing?
You know, I was an energetic kid at that time,
Okay.
and was having a lot of fun doing what I was doing.
That'll do it.
So you were her assistant for a while.
So
How long?
we worked for a company, and we did programming from ESPN to TBN. I mean, I did Kentucky Derby and Major League Soccer, and all of those kinds of things,
God.
and then programming for TBN, Trinity Broadcasting Network. So
I've done a lot with them.
we've done the gamut, and then
good for
we took the jump together about 4.5 years ago to our own company, and kind of started going down this road of filmmaking.
Well, how did you know you liked it? I mean, I'm sure
I
a whole lot's
didn't.
going to ask you about Jesus and stuff. I mean, how did you know you were okay? You would like this business because the producer has a big responsibility.
Sure, I had no idea what I was getting into.
Right.
I was hired, and about 3 weeks later, I was on my first set in North Carolina for a show that was going to be aired on ESPN, and I had no idea what I was getting into. It was just trial by fire at that point.
Wow.
And
Well, good for you stepping out in faith too. And let's talk a little bit about that. How was your faith? Where was your faith?
Yeah.
I've grown up. I grew up in church. My parents ran a ministry, helped run a ministry as I was growing up, a drug and alcohol rehab.
Oh,
and
wow.
that kind of
so
deal.
you came up from the ground, from the roots up.
Yeah. So
okay.
grew up in they were saved out of the Jesus movement. So they were Jesus hippies at the time.
Wow.
And so that's kind of my background growing up that way. And I've known the Lord my whole life. Obviously, you have to figure that out as you grow in your faith. And you can't have the faith of your parents. You have to find your own. And so I went through that process in college and figuring that out and walking through that.
Was it kind of like you stopped going to church, or did you question the Lord himself, or just the party aspect?
No, I'd never really. I mean, I had a little bit of party, but I never really got into that. It was really just questioning my belief of it. What I was taught growing up, is that truth? Is that reality? I mean, because I was challenged in my faith by going to a school that was a different denomination than what I grew up in. And when growing up, I thought all Christians were the same. We all believed the same thing. We all did the same thing. The church was just different. It was just called something different. And the reality is that isn't the case. And there's different denominations with different sort of belief systems.
Very true.
And so that really shook me to the core, really, of my faith. And I mean, I don't have time to get into all of it, but
you had to figure out, okay, what do I believe?
What do I believe, and why do I believe it, and can I back that up with Scripture, and what does my personal walk with the Lord look like?
Oh boy, well that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, how interesting how God was preparing you for this outcome now in 2013 for this movie Home Run, which is connected to Celebrate Recovery, which is a 12-step faith-based program.
Right.
Where your parents were ministers in a kind of like a 12-step program or a recovery program.
Right. I mean, we grew up. I mean, I grew up with drug addicts and alcoholics all around me all the time.
Oh, that's too much.
And seeing that and seeing the addiction of that and seeing the pain of that really kind of helped shape me as I was walking out my faith later on in life of those things. I have different struggles, but those struggles. I've seen that. I've seen what those kinds of addictions and those choices that we make, how that can affect your life later on down the road. So,
and how real that's got to be in the movie. That's got to be, because you're just not coming out from textbook, and it.
Right.
So you knew the characters, you knew what you wanted to see, and
right. We did. I mean, we spent about 19 months working on the script, which might be a little bit longer than what most scripts go through, but we went through a really long process of making that script just right. And I think because we did that, we attracted a really great director, and David Boyd, who Friday Night Lights, Walking Dead is what he's been on now.
Really?
And this is his debut film as a director.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Home Run the movie is going to be out in theaters April 19th. It is homerunthemovie.com. Go visit their website. Take a look at their trailer. Take a look at some of the clips. They're very powerful. I got an opportunity
You got to see. Didn't you
the
go?
screening in Long Beach with John Brennan and Kathy Taylor. They invited me to see the screening in Long Beach, and I was very impressed. I thought the movie was going to be about a ball player who's addicted to alcohol, and they're going to touch over what recovery is or what a 12-step program.
Yeah.
No, it was completely different, and it was very realistic. Let's get into that. The movie Home Run has a star cast of Scott Elrod from Argo, who plays Corey, Dorian Brown from Wilford.
Oh, I like
who
Dorian
plays
Brown. I
Emma,
can't wait to see it. Yeah.
and Vivica Fox played Kill Bill 1 and 2. I mean, you got a star cast.
You
We
did.
do.
All right.
You know, that's the thing. We really believe that in getting the script just right, getting it perfect. I mean, it's not perfect, but spending as much time as we did, it really attracted.
In writing it,
developing
researching it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because all of the producers, myself and the 2 executive producers, as well as 2 of the writers, have gone through CR. So we actually did the 12 steps, walked through it. Right. So and that really helped shape. We thought we were, gonna make this film and invite this little program, Celebrate Recovery, to be a part of it. And what we've really realized is that God's doing something really big in Celebrate Recovery, and He's invited us to be a part of that. And so in development and writing this script, we were able to, the writers were able to pull from their own experiences there, and that was really great. And that attracted David Boyd. And when you can attract a director like David Boyd,
you got that straight.
You can really attract a great cast, and that's what happened. And so,
well, let's talk about that. Tell us about the movie.
Yeah,
Home Run.
And I'd like to ask, how was the conception of it? I mean, whose idea was it? What brought it to pass?
Well, it's it was just this little synopsis sitting on a shelf, and when Carol and Tom got together and said, we're going to make a movie, what is it going to be? They turned to Home Run, and Eric Newman had this concept, one of the writers, and so they just began to flesh that out and see what that looked like. And we have CR in our church. Carol and I go to the same church. And it was a CR Sunday one morning, and we heard a testimony. And I mean, there's nothing more powerful than the story of a changed life, right?
You got that, yes.
We heard that story, and it was just kind of clicked, like, why not use this? So, the story itself is, it's a typical Hollywood story. Bad boy ends up in his small hometown and goes through certain circumstances and recovery, and finds healing, right? So how do you
do something different?
How do you do something different? How do you execute this story
right
in a way that is fresh and new, and introduce Celebrate Recovery? We use the stories of actual people in CR in the film, and use those stories to help propel our character down. So
you
the
have
road.
like a plot and a subplots. So it's one story with some stories around it. I haven't seen it yet. So.
No, it's really his story, but you get to hear actual true stories of people and their journey.
Okay.
And those journeys, hearing those, just brief little testimonies are what really kind of help move him down the road. Towards,
and I love one of the slogans.
Yeah, that's so
it's
cool.
It's a story of 1,000 true stories.
That's right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. That is powerful.
Yeah,
just to say that.
Yeah,
because it includes everybody.
Yeah, and we all have a story, and we don't realize that our story has the power to affect other people, and that's what's really great. So to be able to use true stories, I mean, all of them are true. We pulled them from actual CR testimonies, 2 of them that I sat through personally and heard, using those to be able to tell the story of Corey and help him in his journey. And it's not this typical character that comes alongside of him and says, oh, you need Jesus.
Right.
Say this prayer and everything's going to be good.
Thank you.
And it's because a lot of times we as believers, we know that that's not the truth.
No,
but
we were sold that for many years.
Right.
Your mom and dad, I'm from the Jesus movement.
Sure.
They can tell you, they know.
Right.
But no, because they were already in recovery. They kind of,
Well, right. But that was the idea that, it's not as simple as pray this prayer. I mean, what happens after the altar? You have to walk this journey, right? And so that's what CR is. That's what helps, thousands and thousands of people walk out their road of recovery. And so it's been a great journey.
Well, I know for me it's been that because I'm part of CR and I'm in my 3rd step study and I have 5 years of sobriety. thanks to the foundation.
Congratulations.
Of CR.
Yeah.
Thanks to the foundation.
And the thing that blesses me about it is that when I came into recovery, which was in 1985, there was no place for us Christians to go. There was only one group called Overcomers Anonymous, but it didn't catch on. Like it was like I guess pioneer, and so many Christians, we had to go underground and hide the fact that we were in recovery.
Right.
And we had nowhere to go, so it brings tears to my eyes how God has just opened this up.
Mm-hmm.
This
but
is
like
a
Lolita
miracle.
was saying, for you guys to be doing a film like this and for you to be a part of it on a personal level, and then it is really part of giving back.
It's exactly
It's
giving
part
back.
of the program.
Yes,
it's part of the program that you do this, but you're doing it at such a large scale that it's not just going to bless, even though one-on-one relationships is ministry, but this movie is also ministry.
Because it's going through the church. That's the thing, Mike, if you can explain that to our audience, the church, how important that is.
Well, and that's what we believe first and foremost that our audience is the church. That there are hundreds of thousands of people sitting in the pews right now. I mean, they just came out of church, and they feel isolated. They feel alone. They feel like they're the only ones who gave up a child for abortion in their church. They feel like they're the only ones who have an issue with eating, whether it's overeating or an actual eating disorder. They feel like they're the only ones who are struggling with pornography in their church, and they are ashamed and they're scared to talk about it. And this message is for them, because Home Run says that you're not alone. Home Run says that there are other people out there that can look at you in the eye and say, me too. I had that struggle, but guess what? I have hope. I found hope, and his name is Jesus. It's in Jesus Christ. But what is great is that it says through CR and walking through these steps and being open and honest about where we are in our relationships, that true healing can happen. And true change can take place. And
like you said, elaborate on that again. After the altar, it's not, so many people used to say to me when I was in it, you're in the occult. You have Christ. You have the Word of God. You don't need anything else. Why are you doing this? I mean, can you?
Well, God's a God of process, right?
Thank you.
I mean, he's a process God. About. And I mean, Jesus could have come as a man. I mean, God could have sent his son as a man at 33 years old and started the ministry right there. But no, he sent him as a baby.
Go ahead.
And he grew in faith and in stature and in wisdom. I mean, I was just reading that scripture this morning. And so God's a God of process. We believe that God can heal a broken arm like that in an instant.
He can.
But most of the time, he heals that broken arm by setting it in a cast.
There you go.
And that's healing. Healing is taking place. And it might not be that instantaneous miracle that we're looking at, but it is a miracle that it happened, right? That our body has healed itself.
That's right.
So that's what we believe, is that we all have some kind of hurt. We all have some kind of struggle. We're all dealing with something.
Daily stuff.
Yeah. The real stuff. And there is a process of recovery. There's a process of healing that you have to go through for true change and healing to take place.
That's very well said.
Well, I really want to bridge the movie Home Run, which you can find on homerunthemovie.com. I want you guys to go out there for the viewers and listeners out there. And there's also a Facebook fan page / Home Run the Movie. Like the page, you'll find out when it's coming to your city and your town and how that comes about. But I wanted to bridge Celebrate Recovery with Home Run. We talked a little bit about Celebrate Recovery, but Celebrate Recovery is a 12-step program. It's a 12-step Christian program with the foundation, the higher power being Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you can't do it in secular.
Which was designed out of Saddleback Church with Rick Warren and John Baker.
Yeah, speaking of Rick Warren, I'm glad you said that.
We did want to send our condolences out there to Rick Warren and his family and the Saddleback family for his son Matt, who recently passed yesterday morning.
Right. Yeah, our prayers.
Yeah, how's that affecting you guys? Because wasn't Rick a bit? I mean, you were sharing with me. He's a part of the.
Well, he's the pastor of Saddleback, and a lot of people look to him and for advice, and he's one of the most influential people in the world, and so those that are close to him are definitely feeling the pain of that, and John Baker and that family and the whole CR family are definitely feeling the pain of that, and we're just doing our best to support and pray for them, and it's a tragedy, but
and I pray in all this that people will look and see that it doesn't matter. We all go through stuff.
That's right.
I mean, the hierarchy of this, and I know Rick does not take any glory on himself, but he himself is going through this.
Yeah, and we're none of us are immune, or
No.
That's right.
I mean, we all have our stuff, and we're all susceptible to the different attacks and things like that. And so we just pray for them and know that God's peace and his healing is going to be with them and their family.
And how beautiful that Rick, his church, has been such a platform for recovery.
Yeah.
And so therefore I pray that everyone will love on this man and not look at him and go, well, you're the head. You know how people can be, well, you're the head and this happened to you. Of course.
Right. Yeah. And it's really ironic that, CR birthed out of his church.
That's
I mean,
right.
he loves this ministry.
I know he does.
And he talks about it, and so.
And he was big on board on promoting the film Home Run.
Yeah. He still will be, we believe, and but this is definitely just a small little detour.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He is on board, and he loved the film. He tweeted about it. And so that's really exciting that he's
that he was so on board,
Yeah.
especially being a pastor of such a powerful.
Yeah, he is still on board.
And not only that, but just one of the most influential people in the world. I mean, Time Magazine has him listed as top 25, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know how God can use this. When you just said that, if Rick Warren can go through this, and on Time Mags, I just believe a floodgate of people are going to, God can take what the enemy means for evil, and this can be, you can look at it as an attack, but God is in it. He can use this in a powerful way.
Yep.
And I think
sure
he
can.
will, especially even like he's using your film.
Yeah.
Just like he's using your
Yeah,
film.
I'm so excited. I
'Cause
can't
really
wait to
wanna
see
talk about
this.
this one clip that I want all the viewers and listeners out there. I want you to go homerunthemovie.com.
Yeah.
And I want you to check out this clip. The clip is under videos and photos, and it's called "My Life Is Changing." And this is one of your favorite clips.
It is. It's a little scene in the film, and it's set in a step study, and so they're all in a circle, and one of the characters is just answering a question basically that is part of the process, and it's one of my favorite scenes in that he says, if I can get it right, I should have this memorized. I've seen it so many times.
But you can ad lib. We won't know.
Yeah, that's right. He basically says, he goes, I still struggle, but I'm not hopeless anymore. I can feel myself changing. And I love that line because...
Can you say that again?
I still struggle, right? But it's not hopeless. And that little line, to me, is one of the most powerful lines in the film. Because we do still struggle, and some of us will still struggle the rest of our lives with whatever it is that's in front of us.
That's right. It's a life program.
Right? But there's hope. I can see myself changing. You don't have to be a prisoner of that struggle, that there's hope, and that things change, and you, it's a continual process. I one of my favorite scriptures is that he who began a good work in you will see it through completion until the day of Christ, right? So that's talking about the process of walking through this life, and that's what we talk about in Home Run, that this is a process, that our lives and our walk and our journey of faith is a process.
And it is.
It really is.
It really is.
And
you said a mouthful on that.
Right, and it's not promised that it's going to be easy, but it is promised that we have hope, and that he provides a way out, and that we have those around us who can walk through it with us. That's right.
And I think that's very important to talk about. We always talk about on the show how God puts people in our lives to be there for us and to support one another and to love one another. And I've had that through my CR program and the people that have come into my life now that I'm sober, that have just really been there for me. And saying that I can see myself changing. I remember my first part of sobriety, then kind of the middle part, and kind of now where I am now. And every time I look back and take the opportunity to say, where was I? I see the steps and the change.
Right.
And I continue to see, even till today, the way I felt when I got the news about my friend. and how I was first angry at God right away, like, why are you doing this to me? I'm so good to you. I obey you. I believe in you. And then right away he gave me this peace. He's like, nothing's changed. I still love you. I'm still there for you, and I'll still comfort you.
Yeah.
So, and then the process is for me to act on that and say, I will continue stepping in faith
and trust in you.
And you have a support group too. You have people around you that love you and that care for you and that are going to be there for you and walk through that process with you. And if you didn't have that, where would you be?
You talk about that being a what you call a dry drunk or you white knuckle. It is so important to mention this.
And I was thinking about that too in terms of, because all my recovery had been in secular. I have been a part of CR. I went through through a step study, and I will do another one as time permits. But you know what I'm telling you? But the thing of it is that in secular, they don't allow you to promote on TV and, whatever. But this is important. You're shouting it from the housetop. That's what Jesus tells us, not to hide our light.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
We're doing our best.
I'm so proud of you guys. This is huge. I mean, it is really huge.
Yeah, we believe it's, God's been in it from day one.
How long did it take?
We've been working on this for 3 years. It's been a 3-year process.
And it was a year to do this. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, when did you stop filming?
We filmed in October of 2011, and we release April 19th of 2013. So we're two weeks away. So make sure opening weekend, very, very important.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to stay tuned, and I want you to get an opportunity. If you get an opportunity, or if you don't, go out and check out the website. It is homerunthemovie.com. I want you to find their Facebook page, /homerunthemovie. Like their page. Find out how it can come to your city. We're going to come right back with Michael Bernard from Associate Producer to Home Run. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joy in My House.
Nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. Dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. Who Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground, is sinking sand.
Are you ready to enjoy the Maui lifestyle? You can have it all by owning real estate on the Paradise Island of Maui. Dennis Rush, a 22-year Maui resident and real estate broker, brings his wealth of experience and market knowledge to add value to your Maui real estate understanding, providing a level of service as unique and exceptional as the island of Maui itself. The magical island of Maui was voted the most exclusive resort island in the world by Condé Nast Traveler, and keep in mind, Maui is only a simple, non-stop flight away. Hawaii Business Magazine Top 100 Realtors awarded Dennis Rush the 2011 fourth top realtor on the island of Maui. Go to www.dennisrush.com to view all of the amazing properties currently available in the Maui MLS system. Whatever your needs or desires, Dennis Rush will provide a private consultation for any Maui properties your heart desires. You will be in good hands. Once again, go to www.dennisrush.com. That's www.dennisrush.com. Contact Dennis today to start your Maui lifestyle now. Dennis Rush, proud sponsors of the Dawn Christie Show and LA Talk Live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who says it.
I'm joined here by recording artist Lolita Robinson and author of Shaped by the Master's Hand, and our in-studio guest, Micah Bernard, associate producer of the Home Run.
Special, very special.
Thanks
very
again
special.
for having me.
Okay, let's drive
Well, I
it
just
home.
want to thank you for coming on the show. First of all, I think this is a great ministry. I know it's a film, but it seems to be ministering more than just being a platform, a stage for entertaining. It's really a platform to talk about the work that God is able to do in people's lives if they surrender to Him.
Yeah, that's been our heart from day one. I mean, we've been praying about it and what film and to do and what does God want to say. It was that He's interested in healing us and touching our lives in a way that will never be the same. And we just happen to have the ability to put things together and make a little picture and put it on a little screen, and hopefully people are touched by that. The response to the film has been amazing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's people, and probably one of my favorite things is at the end of the film, just coming in whenever we screen it. We screened it a bunch of times. I couldn't tell you how many, but just coming in and feeling the room at the end of the movie and how people have responded and are responding and how they're touched. It means a lot. And we just pray that God will use this and that people will find hope and that they'll find a way to walk through their problems and their issues and the things that are going on in their lives. And we believe Celebrate Recovery is a great way to do that.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to talk about this because I was very impressed with this when I went to the screening of it. You guys were handing out a resource DVD. Now, most premieres, they hand out a lot of promotional stuff. You guys went another direction. You handed out a resource DVD. I want the viewers and listeners out there to hear what this resource DVD has, because I was very impressed that you guys would hand out something.
Well, yeah,
on,
on there, I mean, it's a lot of marketing and promotional materials, things that you can use in your church or your different groups. I mean, artwork from the film, trailers and different clips and things like that from the film are on there. So,
but I like what it says. It's a promotional material, simple tools to help you share the story and start the conversation.
Right.
Is that to help people start maybe thinking about getting a Celebrate Recovery in their church, or just a teaser?
It's just a teaser for the film and those kinds of things. Yeah, but it's a conversation piece. It's things, what we believe about film is that it's not a substitute for the gospel. Making a movie's not a substitute for a conversation.
No.
I guess it's the catalyst of the conversation.
Right.
We're hoping that this film will begin conversations between friends and loved ones and those in our lives to talk about the things that are difficult and that are taboo, so to speak.
And let's face it, some people wouldn't even go to churches.
Right.
Yeah,
So
a
lot of people are that's actually one of the.
This is a big track.
Yeah, actually one of our promo videos says that for those who won't darken the doorway of a church, they will go to a theater.
Sure will.
And it's a great way to just casually introduce the gospel in a very real, authentic way that isn't overbearing, isn't preachy, isn't gonna make someone walk out of there feeling uncomfortable, but hopefully someone walking out of the movie will feel like I saw a piece of myself in that film.
Well, as a writer too, they always tell us, I'm just coming up, you show it.
Yeah.
You don't tell it.
Right.
So you ain't preaching it. You are showing it.
Just show the reality and the grit of what real life looks like.
And I got an opportunity to see it. So to see it in its realness, you guys did an amazing and great job. The movie premieres April 19th. It is called Home Run. Ladies and gentlemen out there listening and viewing, I want you to go out there and look at their Facebook fan page / Home Run the movie. Become a fan. Find out when it comes to your city. I want you to go out there and look at the website, look at the clips and see if it touches you, because I believe it will. I know it did for me. I want to talk also a little bit about where they can watch it.
Yeah, how do you find it?
Yeah, if you go to homerunthemovie.com and click on theaters and tickets, you can sort by your state and see. So I know here in the LA area, we're in Paramount, we're down in Southern California. I know we're at the Irvine Spectrum 20. If you're in that area, we're at Foothills Ranch. So I mean, we're in quite a few theaters here in the LA area, but that's where you can find your list of theaters. So if you're not here in LA, if you're in Washington State or Maine, we're all across the country. We'll be opening in just under 400 theaters across the country, which is great. Thanks.
That is huge.
We have the same distribution and marketing team
I was going to ask you about distribution.
Fireproof and Facing the Giants. We have Samuel Goldwyn on board and Sony Provident, who have been working with us. So it's kind of the A team, so to speak.
You sure do. Well, God, you know what? He don't put out junk, as they say.
That's right.
He doesn't make junk, and he doesn't put out junk.
Well,
that's awesome.
You're really gonna love the movie then, because it's something similar to that. I
really?
can't wait for you to see that.
Okay, see, but you know what's beautiful about it? The Spirit of the Lord is, goodness.
Yeah,
And let's talk about this. I thought this was very special. How you can bring it to your city.
Yeah, there's still time to bring it to your city. A little low budget feature, independent feature. It takes grassroots, and it takes people demanding the movie to come to their area. And so for those of you still without a theater, if you go online and look that up, if it's not there and you're in a market that has at least an 8-screen theater, you can still get the movie. There's different tabs on there, and I think contact is one of them, so you can reach out to us and see how to bring it to your area. But a commitment of 500 tickets will bring the film to your community on May 10th. So we're having a secondary opening week. So April 19th is opening weekend. The April 19th, 20th, and 21st. Make sure you go and get your ticket. You can get them now online, Fandango. It's all over. But then May 10th is a secondary opening week for us. And so there's still time to get the movie into theaters.
So we can rally around, go to our church and say, hey, guys, buy 500 tickets, and then call you guys, and then you can help us do it.
And you'll just want to reach out to us on our contact page and say, hey, we want to bring it here. We're looking at 500 tickets. What do we have to do? And some of our representatives will be in touch.
Oh, okay.
I did
That's important.
Let's say if you have a church out there and you're a church leader or a member of an organization that would like to have this film come brought out, will you come to their church and show it there or anything of that nature?
Well,
will you do any private screenings like that?
There will be that type of screening that happens after the theatrical run.
Perfect.
So after we're out of theaters, then there's this period of time between the theatrical run of the film and the DVD release where you do they call them, whether they're church events or different events like that, where the film can be licensed and you can bring it in and show it and do different,
because they did the Passion of Christ at our church.
That.
Yeah,
right.
You can do that.
Courageous did the same thing. Where you just have these different opportunities to show it and then do, small group curriculums or studies or something like that around the film.
That's it. Well, you have people on board too to tell them about Celebrate if they want to start that's getting ahead of everything, but that's important. I'm excited. I want to,
Yeah, you can always look and, if you're interested in starting a Celebrate Recovery, I'm pretty sure you just go to their webpage and find a regional director or something like that near you.
Now, where's your actor? I hear from the ladies that the leading man is just quite irresistible.
Oh, Scott.
Is Scott in recovery, or was he somebody who was just like, wow, what is this?
Recovery is you're not allowed to say who's been in.
That's right. So, breaking anonymity. Okay. Right? Okay. See, we never arrived. That's true.
Right. But Scott was really. I will say this. Scott was really touched by the film.
Okay.
He loved the script.
How'd you find him?
I remember we did and I wasn't at the actual audition, but in the audition process, he was here with our director, David, and Carol, our executive producer.
That's right. You got to mention Carol.
Yeah. And
Congratulations, Carol.
Yeah. She's been the workhorse of this film. And so we wouldn't be where we are without her. So Scott came in and auditioned, and he walked out of the audition, and I'm pretty sure within minutes of walking out, he put on his Facebook page, booked it. Not even saying what the film was or anything like that. He just believed he nailed the part, and he did.
That's funny.
Wow. It was him. Obviously, he must have felt like this is maybe not his real life, but
he connected with the story.
Right.
He had there were definitely points where he personally could connect with that character, and there's a few points in the film where he's crying, and there, you know, there's real, like, it's a genuine thing for him. You know, he's not just living this life of Corey, but I really believe that the film touched him, and I think he would say the same thing.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
we got to get him on the show. I would love to have him on the show and have not
Anybody
for the
wants
ladies.
to come?
Wow.
Yeah.
Get him
I'll
on the
have
show
to be
and talk
fighting.
about that.
He is a hunk.
That's what I've been hearing. When I told him that you were gonna come on, and everybody's asking me, "Is Corey gonna be there?"
Yeah, this guy
Corey
gonna be
gonna
Well,
there.
I'm
Yeah.
having Micah. Listen, what's your wife's name?
Cheryl. My wife,
Cheryl, you
Cheryl.
did good, and I believe he did good too. And hi to Daisy, and who's the little guy?
Judah.
Judah. Okay, I had to get that in.
Yeah.
But I did want to talk about that because the name of the show is Joy in My House, and
Uh-huh.
the premise is the joy that we have in our homes,
Right.
in our private lives, to our business lives, so on and so forth. So we like to ask, what does joy in my house mean to you? But before we just get to that,
Okay.
we did want to ask about, how'd you meet your wife? I think
Right.
it's always interesting
Yeah,
how these
I love that, and I get all
relationships-
happy. With
Oh,
this.
this is your favorite part of the show.
Yeah, you guys got all the technical stuff out.
That's right. We were actually, Carol, again, the catalyst of many things. She had been trying to set us up on a blind date
Oh,
for a while, and we both said no.
okay.
Neither of us were excited about the idea of blind dates. We'd had bad experiences in the past. And so I was working for a company, and Cheryl was working for a different company, also in the same field, production, and her dad hired Carol and I to work on a project, and so Carol and another guy, Jason, that worked with my wife, kind of got together and said, well, let's have Micah and Cheryl get on this project and see what happens.
Was the father involved in it too?
No, he had no
Oh,
idea.
this is your wife's father,
Right,
Oh, so
right.
he was like,
Yeah. So he had no idea, and so we sat in a production meeting across from each other it was for a series for TBN that we were working on, and so we went out on a trip and just got to know each other a little bit. And I had worked with her brother, actually, which is interesting, in the past. And
Wow.
So
So
God, forget
So
it. God,
we
God
should've-
just had you.
yeah, we should have met years before, but we didn't. And so on our way back from that trip, I called him up and said, hey, man, do you mind if I date your sister?
Oh.
And he said, absolutely, and the rest is history.
Well, what about Dad? When you asked Dad?
Well, that was a little while later.
Okay, yeah, okay,
that took some
He-
time.
He definitely sat me down and had a conversation, said, what are your intentions?
Good
And-
man, good
and,
man.
so,
How cool! So how
yeah.
long after you met and did you got married?
let's see. I'll get this wrong. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, I don't want you to get in trouble. It was beautiful. Okay.
We got married. I want to say we dated it a little over a year and a half.
Okay.
And got married.
Well, God's
a year and a half
timing.
later. Yep.
God's timing. Oh,
So-
thanks for sharing that, Micah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So the next
Judah.
question goes right into, what does joy in my house mean to you?
Well, to me, I mean, when you ask that question, thinking about it, I remember a song from my childhood that said, "Where there is joy, there is freedom," and I think that's what it is for me is freedom and true freedom. The idea that I'm not alone, that I can be who I am and share who I am with my wife and those close to me, and just the freedom that I have in Christ. That regardless, I said this to my wife before I left, that I'm not getting what I deserve. I deserve death, but I'm not getting that. And that, the freedom to walk in that, and the freedom to be who I am and who He's called me and created me to be, that brings me probably the most joy.
Oh,
So, I mean, other than my kids, of course, and my wife,
That's
but
right,
I mean
that's
that,
right.
that's probably my.
That's
where I'm
awesome. Every week everybody has such a different spin on it,
They
and
do.
I'm ministered each time. I love that. Joy is freedom,
Yeah.
and you didn't get what we deserve.
We're not getting what we deserve.
Oh.
That's, and I have a hundred other stories I could tell, but and I don't know how
You
much
got
time
another
we have
week.
left.
We got 5 minutes.
But I did a
not a whole
screening.
lot,
I did a
Right.
screening in Angola prison, and one of the questions I asked
of this movie.
in Angola State Penitentiary, it's Louisiana State Penitentiary in Angola. It's the largest maximum security prison in the country.
Wow.
It's basically the modern day Alcatraz. Once you go in there, you're pretty much never getting out. And so the vast majority of these guys in there are lifers. And we screened the film for them. And I asked a guy named Wayne, I said, what does freedom mean to you? And he said, freedom for me is being able to stand before the throne with all of my sins laid bare and God the Father looking at me and saying, "Well done, good and faithful servant." And the closest thing that we can get to that here on this earth is by confessing those things and our sins and walking through our issues with our brothers and sisters in Christ here on earth. That's the closest thing to freedom that we'll ever really experience here. So that really made a pretty big impact on my life.
Boy, that made an impact.
Thank you for telling that story. I think that's very powerful.
I think that just caps it all. He said it. That's awesome.
Well, Micah, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thanks
joining
for
my
having
house.
me. It's been great.
Thank you for sharing a little bit of your story.
Yeah, really.
Ladies
Thank
and
you.
gentlemen, Home Run the movie is in theaters April 19th. You're not going to want to miss it. I want you to go to their website, homerunthemovie.com. Find out where it's playing near you. Go buy your tickets in advance if you like on Ticketmaster, Fandango, and on their website. I want you to visit their fan page as well, Facebook.com/homerunthemovie.com. Like them. Get engaged with us. Engage with them as well. Let them
Get
know.
500 people together.
That's right.
In
And
your
if you're
city.
if you're a church
Come
leader
on,
or a
y'all.
pastor and you want this to come on out, go to their contact page and link up with them. Very faithful, very humble. I want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank
Home
you.
Run the movie
Thank
does
you.
open on April 19th, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to join us next week. We have a great musical artist, young musical artist by the name of Sarah Longsert. She is a singer-songwriter and will be performing live off her new CD. You're not gonna want to miss,
That's
ladies
right.
and
I'm looking
gentlemen.
forward to it.
This is Joy in My House. Have a blessed day,
We
ladies
love
and
you.
gentlemen. Lolita Robinson,
right.
Micah Bernard. Have
And
a
Van
blessed
Eric,
day.
thank you so much.
Van.
Okay. All right.
Don't forget
Bye-bye.
to join us next week. Have a great and blessed day, ladies and gentlemen. Find us on Facebook /Joy in My House. This is Joy in My House. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me, Father, may I come in? I'm feeling alone, afraid. I need a friend. Sometimes a mud can fight anything, but to